Hello class, today we are making our slump mold plate. Make sure you have your surface ready to work, like a brown paper bag or a tablecloth. I have a canvas with paper. You're going to want to have your bag that says slab plate, your dowel rod. You could have a knife, either a metal butter knife or a plastic butter knife, your cleanup water, your plate. Okay, so you're going to start by just taking your clay. You can leave it in the size it is, but you're going to make it into a sphere. It's a lot like making a snowball. So just pretend like you're packing a snowball and knock those hard edges and the corners down with your hands by kind of cupping your hands and smacking it around in your hands. Once you get it into a sphere shape, then it will be ready to roll into a slab. So we're actually going to start by, I want you to give this a try, just kind of dropping your clay onto your flat surface. Kind of bounces around a little bit. You might have to give it a little force, but just kind of pick it up, move it around, turn it, flip it around, and just kind of keep doing that. If you keep doing it repeatedly the same way, you're going to get the same results. So you don't want to make it too thin in one area. We want to keep it an even thickness. So once you're done doing that, you can take your dowel rod out and you can just try rolling. Stick to the middle because we want to keep it in even thicknesses. The sides tend to get thin faster, so kind of just focus your rolling on the middle section. Turn it around, flip it upside down, give it another roll. You can pick it up and drop it a few more times. It's up to you, but just try and get it rolled out nice and evenly. Go slow, be careful. It's not a race. And if you find the dowel rod difficult to work with, you could find um, like a water bottle or a glass bottle to roll it out with. Okay, then try putting your plate on top, see if it's big enough. It might not be at first. You might think, oh, that looks big enough, and then you put your plate on top and you find you have to do a little bit more rolling, and that's fine. So here I am rolling it out some more. And then when you do find it's large enough, you're going to set the plate on top and flip it over with the slab with it. Now I'm going to use my little chamois. I got this for $1 at the dollar store. I can get probably about 8 or 9 of those out of this. So I'm just going to use it to kind of help slump the clay into the plate form. I can also kind of use my fingers on the edges, kind of make sure it slumps over. Kind of using a pinching technique, just gentle, real gentle. Okay, now I'm going to trim it. I'm going to use my metal butter knife. And you could flip it upside down and trim it. And I'm just putting my extra little bits that I'm trimming off into my slab plate baggie. And if you let this get a little drier, it might trim a little easier. Mine was pretty wet, so keep that in mind. But you can always go in and clean it up later. So I take my chamois sponge and I'm just cleaning it up. I know I'll probably have to go in later and do a little more cleaning up. I know it won't end up being perfect quite yet. Sometimes clay has to get a little bit more stiff before you can make it look real good. I'm just using my little damp chamois to kind of smooth things. And then I realized there's a lot of fingerprints in the middle of that plate, and I wanted to kind of get rid of those. So I just got a little water on my fingers, not a lot, and just kind of rubbed it. Now I want to get it in a bag. I noticed my first bag had a hole in the bottom. That's why I was showing you, and I don't know if you could see it, but so I'm switching bags. I could double bag it. I always like to have extra insurance myself. Pick your extra clay scraps up, put them in your baggie, take your large thing of water, clean off your tools. You can fold up and put your work surface away. I'm working outside, so I wasn't as concerned about getting it on my lawn, the clay. But if you're working in your house, you're probably going to want to make sure you do a really good job. So here I'm showing you a how dirty that water was. It was perfectly clean when I started, so I just go over and dump it out in my backyard.